I found out my boyfriend is a transmigrator. When we first got together, he would ask his system every day, why hasn't she mentioned breaking up yet? If she doesn't, I will. The system stopped him, saying, you can't, unless she still hasn't mentioned it after a month, then you can. So he counted the days as he dated me. Finally, the day arrived, and the system reminded him, you can break up with her today. At that moment, he was kissing me, and his movements suddenly froze, after a long pause. I checked the almanac. Today is not a good day for breaking up, let's do it another day. The system was shocked. Later, the system couldn't take it anymore and roared, you're not getting attached, are you? She's just an NPC. As soon as the words fell, he instantly exploded, she's not an NPC, she's my wife. I was speechless. Jasper is famously known as the aloof school heartthrob. He's incredibly handsome but comes from a poor family, and I am a wealthy heiress. Despite our vastly different backgrounds, we ended up together. Many people were shocked, especially after learning that Jasper was the one who confessed first. Everyone teased him for not wanting to work hard anymore. I didn't take it to heart. I don't think he's the kind of person who values wealth over character. Before this, he had always kept to himself and maintained his integrity. There were also many girls from similar family backgrounds as mine who expressed their feelings to him. But he rejected them without batting an eye. To be honest, Jasper and I aren't really close. We were in the same group for a project and had some brief conversations. The only reason I agreed to be with him was because my family was planning an arranged marriage for me, and I thought having a boyfriend would temporarily deter their plans. Although I don't like Jasper, I will still fulfill my duties as a girlfriend. But ever since the confession, he has disappeared without a trace. He never reached out to me proactively, as if he had forgotten he had a girlfriend. I felt strange and took the initiative to find him. Unexpectedly, I heard a voice claiming to be a system coming from his mind. They were having a conversation. It's already the 5th day. Why hasn't she come to break up yet? The system said, host, you're too impatient. In the plot, Lydia won't propose breaking up until half a month later because she can't stand your indifference. Jasper sneered. Half a month. Anyone would have had enough in 3 days. Look, she finally came, being able to endure for 5 days. I should praise her for her endurance. Hearing this made me frown. So, not showing up for these 5 days was to wait for me to initiate the breakup. You've come. Do you have something to say to me? Seeing me standing in front of him, remaining silent for a long time, he was the first to break the silence. His voice carried a natural sense of authority and pressure. Thinking back carefully, even when he confessed his feelings, it was the same. There wasn't a trace of emotion in his eyes, and it even carried a hint of weariness. He doesn't like me, so why did he confess to me? Could it be that he really doesn't want to try anymore? This is clearly not the case. He even wants to break up with me. Although I had many doubts in my heart, I didn't show them. Can't I look for you even if I have nothing to say? I blinked. Jasper lowered his gaze without speaking. But then he was heard asking the system, what does she mean? Isn't she here to break up? The system said, it doesn't seem like she's here to break up. It's more like she's here to ask for a date. I don't have any, thank you. I just came to see what he's actually busy with, since he's nowhere to be seen. Impatience flickered in Jasper's eyes, but he still replied, I found it amusing, clearly unwilling, yet still saying things he didn't mean. I'm a bit curious. What secrets could he possibly have? So, I took the system's advice. Jasper, let's go on a date. The system immediately popped up. Wow, I guessed it right, Jasper said. Get lost. I thought he was talking to me. A few seconds later, he asked the system, can I refuse? No, host, you cannot refuse your girlfriend's request. Deviating from the character setting will require reloading from a save. But you have the right to remain aloof during interactions, Jasper said. Find a good day to sleep forever. The system was speechless. Finally, when I could barely hold back my laughter, Jasper said expressionlessly, as you wish. If you listen carefully, you can still hear a hint of gritted teeth. I didn't know where couples should go on dates either, so I thought of going to the cinema at the last minute and ended up picking an animated film. I was thoroughly enjoying the movie, completely ignoring Jasper, who was cold and speechless beside me. I overheard him complaining to the system, how childish, a CEO with assets worth over $1 billion, actually have to sit here watching an animated film, and it's Pleasant Goat and Big Wolf. My ears perked up, and my attention shifted to him. Over 100 million, CEO. Aren't you a poor student who works multiple part-time jobs every day? Next, I learned his secret from their conversation. He came from a transmigration novel. The world I live in is a work of fiction, the original male lead. Jasper had his consciousness detached, and he was forced to take his place, but all he needs to do is follow the plot to the end to return, without investing emotions like the original character. In the novel, Jasper has to go through 3 relationships before meeting his true love. I am his first love, the only one he actively pursued as his white moonlight, but due to my personality, I didn't know how to handle the relationship and ended up losing it. As for this Jasper who has crossed over in his world, he is no poor boy, he is a young master born with a silver spoon in his mouth, a big CEO holding billions in capital. No wonder I felt like Jasper's aura had changed, with a faint sense of nobility surrounding him. So it turns out he had been replaced. No wonder he was in such a hurry to break up and go back. Imagine a CEO suddenly becoming a poor guy. Anyone would lose their composure, knowing everything. I'm taking it well, as an insignificant person. I eat when I should eat and sleep when I should sleep, but since he's rushing the schedule, I don't mind helping him out by breaking up. I really am a kind little fairy. The movie came to an end. As I walked out of the cinema, I wanted to find a quiet place to break up with him. My steps were a bit hurried, and I accidentally missed a step while going down the stairs. As I stumbled forward, I instinctively called out, "Jasper." He turned around and was caught off guard as I threw myself into his arms, but before I could recover, I was pushed away. A cold voice fell, "Stay away from me." Looking up, I saw the undisguised disgust on Jasper's face, as if I were some kind of filth. My face stiffened, my fists clenched, and I went mad. When have I ever been treated like this? Well done, you Jasper, you have killed my kindness. Since you don't value my kindness, then try my evil. I'm not breaking up with him, I'm going to annoy him to death. The next day, I found Jasper again. He was dining in the cafeteria, his every move exuding elegance. I took a closer look and realized it was just rice porridge with pickled vegetables. He managed to make it feel like a Western-style meal. I couldn't help but twitch the corner of my mouth. I sat down beside him, and he frowned almost imperceptibly. "Jasper, where are you going later?" "Back to the dorm." "Wrong, host. You're going to your part-time job." The system's voice chimed in. Jasper was puzzled. "What do you mean?" "It means today is the weekend, and the host has to work part-time at the milk tea shop. Why can't this kid take a break even on the weekend?" "Host, you've already quit your part-time jobs at the cafeteria, breakfast shop and evening tutoring. If you quit this weekend job too, you won't even be able to afford rice porridge and pickles." Jasper stood up with great forbearance and looked at me. "I have to go to my part-time job. It seems that life will eventually smooth out his edges." "All right, I'll go with you." Just thinking about the CEO shaking milk tea makes me want to laugh. Whatever. After leaving the cafeteria, he strode ahead of me with his long legs. I couldn't quite keep up, so I stopped and called out to him, "Jasper, aren't you going to hold my hand?" He stood a few meters away, silently confronting me. "Host, please maintain your character setting. Don't refuse your girlfriend's request." Jasper walked back with a dark expression and firmly grabbed my hand. "Let's go, girlfriend. You're hurting me." I bared my teeth. He loosened his grip slightly. "Sorry." I tilted my chin up slightly. "I forgive you." When we arrived at the milk tea shop, I ordered a fresh orange juice and specifically requested Jasper to make it. I deliberately leaned in close to him, my voice dripping with sweetness. "I'm so happy to get to drink orange juice freshly squeezed by my boyfriend." Sure enough, I saw him staring at me with a look of disgust. Urged by the shop manager, he reluctantly started cutting the oranges. I sat calmly not far away, resting my chin in my hand as I watched him. Obviously, he had no experience at all. His movements were slow and hesitant, and he even added the wrong ingredients, which got him caught and criticized by the store manager. "Jasper, what's going on? Haven't been here for a week, and you're already out of practice." The CEO, who had never been treated like this before, immediately darkened his expression. "A bunch of messy stuff. Even God would be confused for a moment." The store manager was taken aback. The usually quiet and diligent young man had unexpectedly lost his temper today, but the boss had no intention of indulging him. "If you can handle the job, do it. If not, get lost." The next moment, Jasper took off his work uniform and walked away with a cold expression. The staff made me another glass of orange juice and brought it over. I took a leisurely sip, secretly laughing to myself. Jasper's rough edges still need a bit more smoothing. Less than 10 minutes later, Jasper came back. No longer throwing a tantrum, and obediently put on his work uniform. The system was chattering. That's right, don't bother with that mortal. You, a great CEO, can't even shake up a cup of milk tea or squeeze a glass of juice. No way. Someone who can become a CEO will succeed at anything they do. Well, it turns out I was coaxed back by the system. Although Jasper appeared calm on the surface, in my opinion, he was out of ideas. Before I knew it, I had been sitting in the shop all afternoon, watching Jasper go from being all flustered to handling things with ease. He's really getting the hang of shaking milk tea, I thought to myself. He's learning pretty fast. Until he got off work, seeing me still sitting there, he called out, "Are you coming or not? Let's go." I immediately stood up and followed. On the way, I glanced sideways at his slightly weary face and teased him in a playful tone, "You've worked hard, Jasper." He gave me an expressionless glance and let out a light scoff. Not hard work, just hard luck. In the following days, I would find him for no reason at all, determined to annoy him to the end. I insisted on holding his hand while walking and occasionally made him carry me on his back, watching him look as though he desperately wanted to turn and leave but had no choice but to give in. I couldn't help but feel delighted, taking advantage of the fact that he couldn't refuse my demands. I became even more relentless. I made him run errands to buy desserts. I also made him send me good morning and good night messages every day, and I would occasionally tell him cheesy pickup lines, making him cringe so hard his face turned black again and again. During that time, he asked the system 800 times a day, "Why hasn't she brought up breaking up yet? Why can't I bring it up either?" That day, I saw a friend's social media post about knitting a scarf for their partner. I suddenly had a whim and immediately went to find Jasper. In a few months, it will be winter. I wonder if I'll get a scarf knitted by my boyfriend. I'm not sure if that will happen. Jasper gritted his teeth. It might, probably, maybe, but it's going to be really difficult. I smiled even wider. I believe you can overcome any difficulty, right? Yes, it has to be hand knitted by you, he agreed verbally, but then immediately said to the system, "I hope she suddenly decides to break up before I even start knitting the scarf." The system poured cold water. "Not much hope," Jasper said. "Wish me better luck." The system said, "There's great hope." I laughed inwardly. "Your hope is doomed to be dashed." Before I could break up with him, he obediently knitted an ugly and disgusting scarf and handed it to me. My expression was indescribable. "Why did you choose brown yarn? It looks like a pile of shit when rolled up. Is this right?" He answered casually. "I bought 7 colors, failed 6 times. And only this one worked. If you don't like it, then..." Before he could finish his sentence, I already understood what he meant. With a parabolic arc, I tossed it into the nearby trash can. Jasper was instantly stunned. "Why did you throw it away? You said it yourself. If I don't like it, just throw it away." I looked innocent. "I really don't like it." The corner of his temple twitched slightly as he struggled to suppress his emotions. "Yes, if you don't like it, just throw it away. No problem. Take a deep breath. It's not a big deal." But the next second, he roared at the system. "I worked hard for 3 days and 3 nights. No one knows how many times my fingers were cut, how many times my eyes dried out, how many days my waist ached, and she just tossed it away so casually." The system whispered, "Boss, didn't you say if you didn't like it?" Jasper roared again. "I said if I didn't like it, give it back to me. Can you let me finish?" I guiltily touched my nose. Should have said so earlier. He was truly angry, didn't give me a single friendly look all day. The next day, I couldn't even find him at all. On the weekend, I went to the milk tea shop, thinking he couldn't possibly avoid me there. But when I arrived at the shop, I didn't see him. I asked the staff, but they all said they didn't know and hadn't seen him take any leave. Is he unable to continue? Possibly. Forget it, I won't look anymore. Do whatever you want. I turned around and went shopping at the mall. Passing by an alley, I caught a glimpse of Jasper. He was surrounded by 3 burly men in the alley. Blood trickled from the corners of his mouth and forehead, his face dark and terrifying. The burly man in the lead cursed. "We agreed you'd pay back the money on time every month. And this month you're playing dumb." You refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit, the system said. Host, if we can't win, let's run. How come this Jasper is still in debt? The system sighed. His father's debts, and the man has long since run away. These people can't find his father, so they've set their sights on Jasper. He works multiple part-time jobs, and all his money goes toward paying off the debt. Hey, are you ignoring what we said? Do you want another beating? With that, they were about to start hitting him again. Stop, I shouted. A moment later, I helped Jasper up. Are you okay? No, his face was pale, and his tone was full of accusation. Why did they get to beat me up and then walk away with money? Yes, I helped him pay off all his debts. How about I call them back, take the money back, and continue beating you up? He fell silent. I looked at him with disdain. I turned around and went to a nearby pharmacy to buy some disinfectant. Although this transmigrated person is unpleasant, but what did Jasper do to deserve this? He almost got his face beaten beyond recognition. I simply feel sorry for the original Jasper. Here, do you want to do it yourself, or should I help you? I casually asked, tossing the medicine pack to him to handle on his own, but after fumbling for a long time, he couldn't even find where the wound was. He said in frustration, "You help me." I rolled my eyes in annoyance, snatched the item from his hand, deftly dipped it in disinfectant, and applied it to the wound on his forehead. Ouch, be gentle, Tisk, so demanding. I lightened my touch, but he still groaned. It hurts, can't you be more gentle? I can't stand it at all. Can you even apply it properly? What are you being so fussy about? I ask you to do it, but you can't get it right. When I try to help, you keep squirming around. Do you want me to shove it in your mouth? Believe me, I will. He immediately pressed his lips together and didn't dare move a muscle. Will you behave now, or do you want to take over? Say something, behave. You come, with my hot temper, I can't handle you. During the process of applying the medicine, he remained very well behaved. When the pain became unbearable and he leaned back, I just gave him a glance, and he immediately froze in place. Why is she suddenly so fierce? Did she take the wrong medicine? The system said. Women are all fickle, aren't they? I feel like she might actually hit me, the system said. You're so timid, get lost. Their conversation made me unconsciously curl my lips into a smile, and my movements became gentler without me realizing it. I even instinctively blew on the wound, and because of that action, our faces were very close. I don't know if it's an illusion, but why is Jasper getting redder and redder? When I realized it, I jumped back abruptly and rubbed my arm uncomfortably. Why didn't he push me away when I was so close? I was wondering, but then I heard him ask the system, did she just show a look of disgust? How dare she look down on me? She was the one who approached me, and she still dares to look down on me. The system was speechless. I noticed that the CEO has a big contrast in personality. He's quite tsundere, responds better to soft approaches than to force. But if you really push him, you can still handle him, because the school was hosting an evening party. All the clubs were rehearsing their performances. Our club is performing a play, a gender-swapped version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I play the prince, and the role of the princess is portrayed by a tall, handsome guy. We were rehearsing the final kissing scene when suddenly a voice shouted from the audience, Lydia. Everyone turned their heads in unison and saw Jasper holding a cup of milk tea, his handsome face dark with anger, under the bewildered gazes of everyone and me. He stormed onto the stage, grabbed my hand, and pulled me outside. Once we were outside the theater, I shook off his hand and asked with a puzzled expression, Jasper, what's wrong with you? You actually kissed a guy in front of everyone, he said, his tone filled with anger. I looked at him blankly and replied, Dude, can you get a grip on the situation? I was acting in a play. What kind of play is this, with a kissing scene? It's a fairy tale play, and it was a fake kiss. He was slightly taken aback, his expression relaxing as he tentatively asked, You just faked it. You didn't actually kiss. I looked at him with exasperation. I beg you, use your brain a little. He stopped talking, his expression slightly awkward. Why are you suddenly so concerned? I smiled teasingly. He avoided eye contact and said stiffly, I'm your boyfriend. Can't I be concerned? You know you're my boyfriend. Aren't you thinking about breaking up every day? I haven't lost my memory, really. I almost thought you'd gone crazy, shouting so loud the whole theater shook 3 times. Jasper was speechless. the play's progress is not going smoothly. The princess has quit the show. A group of people sat on the stage floor, discussing who to find as a replacement. The club president was so worried that he scratched his hair into a mess. Just then, a familiar figure appeared at the door. Jasper scanned the room, his gaze landing on me, and called out, "Lydia, take it." I sprang up in a flash and ran over with a grin, taking the milk tea from his hand. "Another day of being my errand boy. My hands are dirty. Can you open the straw for me?" He didn't refuse, skillfully tore open the packaging, and helped me insert the straw. "The first sip is for my boyfriend to drink." He pursed his lips. "I won't drink it." Before he could finish speaking, I had already slurped down a big gulp. "Really? It's for you to drink." He snorted coldly, turned around, and left. I curled my lips into a smile. "Take care, delivery boy." At that moment, the president suddenly leaned over my shoulder. "Lydia, he's the one." I'm shocked. "What, you want Jasper to play Snow White? You might as well give up on that idea right now." I almost jumped up. With Jasper's temper, there's no way he would agree to act. The club president kept pestering me, going on and on from the origins of the club to life philosophies. Finally, he said, "Don't you want to see your boyfriend in a skirt?" To be honest, I kind of do. Jasper's tsundere attitude really makes him seem like a princess, a proud, aloof princess. In the evening, the sky was tinged with a soft pink glow. I arranged to take a walk with Jasper on the playground. After finishing one lap, I spoke up. "Jasper." Jasper looked terrified. "Speak human language." "Damn, I was thinking of saying something soft and taking it step by step. You just won't listen." "Forget it." I gave up on being subtle, cleared my throat lightly, and said, "Jasper, are you interested in performing in a play? Our club has a role for Snow White that would suit you perfectly." As soon as I finished speaking, Jasper looked at me as if I were an idiot. "Is she crazy? Asking me to play Snow White," the system said. "I'm so looking forward to it." Get lost. Today's "Get Lost" from the system has been collected. Acted out. Please, Jasper, the club can't find a suitable candidate. Do us a favor. I shook his arm vigorously. He declared righteously. "I refuse," the system said faintly. "Host, you cannot refuse. Get lost." Even Jasper himself would refuse such an absurd matter. "Don't talk to me about character settings." I gritted my teeth and said, "If you can agree, I won't order you around anymore from now on, and I can even grant you one request." "Any request?" "Jasper would rather be ordered around by you for a lifetime, die outside, or jump from here than agree to even a single word of yours." "How do you wear this?" Jasper came out of the fitting room holding the dress, looking completely frustrated. I quickly stepped forward. "Don't be upset. Let me help you." After he put it on, there was a chorus of "wow" from everyone. Snow White's costume was purchased in several sets in advance, and there was a large size that fit Jasper perfectly. With his naturally fair complexion and slender figure, he looked completely natural, except for the grumpy expression on his face. The system spoke up. "Host, why did you suddenly agree?" Jasper snorted coldly. "She said she would agree to any of my requests. Once this is over, I'll make her break up with me." The system suddenly realized, although this move is risky, the chances of success are high. "Hey, don't misuse the lines. No wonder you were so confident one moment and then back down the next." Sigh. "I was careless. We rehearsed for almost a whole day, and everything went smoothly." It has to be said that Jasper truly has something extraordinary. He memorized his lines in just one go. On the day of the official performance, everyone was in top form. The version of Snow White we were performing wasn't the traditional one. We added a lot of comedic elements that had the audience laughing throughout. It was time to wake the princess with a kiss. During rehearsal, when we were faking the kiss, the club members teased us, real couples still avoiding intimacy. "What's there that we can't see?" They had no idea we were just a couple on the surface. I slowly leaned closer to the sleeping princess, my gaze uncontrollably drawn to his lips. "Why is it so red? It even has a glossy sheen and feels so bouncy." Before my brain could process it, I inexplicably leaned in. By the time I realized what I had done, it was already too late. I actually kissed Jasper. The moment my lips touched his eyes snapped open. His eyes were filled with shock and disbelief, his pupils slightly dilated. I froze completely. This was my first kiss. Lust blinds the wise. I wish I could find a hole to crawl into. Fortunately, the dwarves all gathered around at that moment, and no one noticed the strangeness between us. At the celebration banquet, everyone was still discussing the play. The club president leaned in and said, "Lydia, you're something else. So you were planning to kiss in front of the whole school on a formal occasion?" I rubbed my forehead and smiled wryly. "Keep it low-key, keep it low-key," the crowd said. "You're not being low-key at all." I turned to look at Jasper beside me. Since the performance ended, he had been unusually quiet, not saying a word. The tips of his ears were red, as if they had been that way ever since I kissed him, and they still hadn't faded. Suddenly, he heard himself ask the system, "Why did she kiss me?" He asked 3 times. The system replied succinctly, "She likes you." "I'm not. I didn't." "Don't talk nonsense." Jasper seemed to take it seriously, his cheeks flushing with a hint of red. I couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Was he really that innocent? Has the CEO never been kissed before? With that thought, I suddenly leaned closer to him and whispered, "Is this your first kiss?" He was startled and leaned back. Why are you suddenly so close? Is that not allowed?" I moved a little closer, deliberately teasing him. He didn't say anything, his lips slightly pursed, looking a bit flustered. "Answer me, was that your first kiss?" I urged softly. The system chimed in his mind. "How could that be? Someone like you, a big CEO with looks and money. How could you not have dated or kissed anyone, right, CEO? She's been provoking you all along." Of course it was. Hearing his reply to the system, I suddenly felt bored, and an inexplicable irritation welled up inside me. I sat back down, not noticing the way he stared at my face, seeming to want to say something but hesitating. I didn't pay any more attention to him until the party ended. When we reached the apartment building, he seemed to want to speak several times but hesitated. I said impatiently, "I'm here. You can go back." As I turned to leave, he called out to stop me. "So, was that your first kiss?" I was a bit annoyed. He wasn't a first-timer himself, yet he had the nerve to question me. "No, I've kissed more lips than you've eaten meals." As soon as I said that, his eyes widened as if he was furious to the extreme, and he yelled at me. I knew it. This restless woman must have kissed many men. "You scumbag woman." My fiery temper? What's wrong with being a scumbag woman? Did I scumbag you? Why are you so triggered? Want me to try scumbagging you? I almost forgot that he said he would let me initiate the breakup after the performance ended. If you're so eager to break up, why do you care whether I'm a scumbag or not? Since we're breaking up anyway, I'll give you one last good dose of annoyance. You've kissed more lips than I have. So who's the real hypocrite here? Oh, look at that. Your eyes are getting red. Are you about to cry? Can't handle the argument and now you're tearing up. I should definitely record this. With that, I pulled out my phone and snapped a bunch of photos. He raised his hand to cover his face. "Don't take pictures of me." His voice was slightly choked. "I'm going to take pictures anyway." He snatched my phone, his slender fingers tapping on the screen to delete all the photos. Suddenly, a teardrop fell on the screen. Jasper's tears fell, making the phone screen unresponsive. He frantically swiped his fingers back and forth, his eyes growing redder with anxiety. After finally deleting everything, he looked up at me, his eyes filled with grievance and anger. "Lydia, I've never met a woman as bad as you. You made me knit a scarf, and after I finished, you threw it away. You ordered me to buy things, then scolded me when I got them wrong. You kissed me, but then gave me the cold shoulder. In all my life, no one has ever kissed me, and I've never kissed anyone else. Yet you accused me of being a thief, crying, 'Stop thief,' and even took ugly photos of me." His voice gradually took on a sobbing tone as he spoke, tears falling like broken strings of pearls. "From today on, I won't listen to you anymore, and don't come looking for me again." After saying that, he turned and walked away, not forgetting to return my phone as he left. I stood there in a daze, watching his retreating figure, looking down at the tear stains on my phone. I couldn't help but reflect, did I really go too far? I made him cry, but he wasn't any better either, shedding a few tears and trying to make me feel guilty. No way. I didn't contact him again in the following days. When I didn't have classes, I just stayed holed up in the apartment. That day, my dad suddenly told me to come home for dinner. I had a bad feeling inside. Sure enough, the topic of an arranged marriage came up at the dinner table. Sitting across from me was Simon, the intended match for the marriage. He looks refined, wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses, exactly the kind of son-in-law my parents would like. But as I look at him, I can't help feeling that this refinement is just an act, and I feel an inexplicable aversion. After dinner, in the study, "Dad, I have a boyfriend." My father frowned and said disdainfully, "Humph, with that poor boyfriend of yours. Do you really think you can be together forever?" Then he spoke earnestly, "Lydia, you're still young, it's fine to have fun dating, but you need to understand that your partner must be someone who is useful to you. Simon is a good man, upright in character and exceptionally capable. In short, a marriage alliance with him is the most suitable choice." I sneered, thinking, useful to the company, you mean, Dad, as you said, I'm still young, I haven't even graduated from university. And you're already arranging a marriage alliance for me. I'm not asking you to get married right now. My dad interrupted me. During this time, you two can spend time together and build your relationship. We can talk about it again after you graduate. I was speechless and turned to leave. Take Simon's car back. Let him drive you. Simon dropped me off at the apartment building, and I had just gotten out of the car to say goodbye. Then I heard someone call my name, Lydia. I turned to look and saw Jasper emerging from the greenbelt, holding a cup of milk tea in his hand. I raised an eyebrow. "Oh, what brings you here?" "I was just passing by," I nodded. "Then keep passing by." "Simon, Lydia, who is this?" Jasper immediately responded. "Her boyfriend." Simon was taken aback for a moment, then laughed and said, "What a coincidence, I'm her fiancé." Jasper suddenly looked at me, his tone full of disbelief. "Lydia, you're already with another man before we even broke up." I ignored him and looked at Simon. "You go back first." He smiled with an unclear meaning. "Let's keep in touch by phone." After Simon left, I turned and walked into the apartment elevator. Jasper followed behind and pressed, "Lydia, why aren't you answering me? What exactly is your relationship with him? Why does he need to keep in touch with you by phone?" I avoided answering the question directly. "Didn't you tell me not to come looking for you again? Why are you seeking me out on your own?" Jasper's expression turned a bit awkward. I refused to let it go. Who was the one crying their eyes out that night? He started playing dumb, speaking with a righteous tone. "Who? I've lost my memory." I sneered and rolled my eyes at him. The system murmured, "She doesn't know that the host has managed to console herself these past few days." Jasper said, "Get lost," the system said, leaving satisfied. After that day, Jasper seemed like a different person, seeking me out every day, practically clinging to me. Before, he would complain about me bossing him around, but now, without me even having to say a word, he acts as if he's more than happy to do things for me. Not only did he knit me a new scarf, but it was also in my favorite color, purple. He even started asking about Simon, intentionally or not, with a tone full of jealousy. In contrast, my attitude was much colder. He also noticed and asked me quietly, "Are you still giving me the cold shoulder?" So, after that night, he thought we were in a cold war. It's just ridiculous. I asked bluntly, "Jasper, do you like me?" If his previous compromises with me were forced by the system's pressure, then that night he left so resolutely. I thought he wouldn't appear before me again until the day we could break up. Yet, just a few days later, he came to me as if nothing had happened. And he even gets jealous over nothing at any time. I'm almost certain that this incredibly arrogant CEO has fallen for me, but he didn't give me a direct answer. It was only after a long while that his voice came, barely audible. "No cold wars, don't ignore me." I smiled and said slowly, "Well, depends on my mood." He stared straight at my face, his Adam's apple subtly moving as he slowly lowered his head, getting closer and closer to my lips. Even the faint scent of laundry detergent on her became clear. At the moment we were about to touch, the system's sound rang out, "Host, the time has come, you can break up with him today." Jasper suddenly froze, his brows furrowing in frustration. I checked the almanac. "Today is not a good day for a breakup. Let's do it another day." The system was shocked. Jasper's brows relaxed, and he leaned in toward me again. I quickly raised my hand and covered his mouth, and he let out a confused "MMPH." I smiled and said, "You should go to your part-time job now." He walked away, glancing back every few steps. The smile on my face slowly faded. He likes me, but he wants to go back even more. In the following days, various excuses from Jasper could be heard. The next day, the system said, President, it's time to break up today. Jasper, who was about to hug me, froze, his face darkening, according to the almanac. Today is not suitable for arguments, breaking up will definitely lead to a quarrel. So let's do it another day. The system was speechless. Day 3, boss, can we break up today? Jasper was helping me unscrew the bottle cap, not even looking up. She's in a bad mood today, and I'm not in the mood to bring it up. Let's do it another day. The system sighed in his mind. Oh, infatuated system, please wait one more day. The 4th day, President, you must break up today. At that moment, Jasper was holding my waist and kissing me when the system interrupted. He couldn't hold back any longer. 3 strikes and you're out. Do you have any sense of timing? You just had to show up now. I was in the middle of an intimate moment with her, and the next second, she brings up breaking up. Does that make any sense? Is that even something a decent person would do? The system said. I don't really pay attention to those little details. This is not a little detail. Their arguing was driving me crazy, and I blurted out, let's break up, Jasper. Jasper's expression went blank for a moment. Lydia, what did you say? I took a deep breath, raised my voice, and said word by word. I said, we're breaking up. Did you hear me clearly? The system cheered. She said it. She said it. Great. This makes sense now. You should agree quickly. Jasper remained unmoved. As if frozen in place, a hint of panic gradually surfacing in his eyes, but he forced a casual tone. Don't joke around. Why bring up breaking up out of nowhere? Did I kiss you too hard just now? As he spoke, he raised his hand and gently rubbed my lips with his fingers. What the hell? I slapped his hand away and took a step back to create some distance, but he immediately closed in, his eyes filled with panic. I'm sorry, Lydia. I'll be gentler next time. I won't hurt you again. There won't be a next time. From today on, we're done. He finally realized I wasn't joking. I never agreed to break up. Why won't you break up with me? Do you even like me? Answer me directly. I do. I like you, Lydia. I was taken aback, not expecting him to avoid the topic this time. But what does it matter if he likes me? He will still break up with me in the end. Since you like me, would you give up everything for me? Give up the chance to go back, abandon your luxurious life as a CEO, and stay here? I don't think my importance in his heart is enough for him to abandon all of this. Sure enough, when he heard this, his eyes wavered, clearly hesitating. I chuckled lightly. You should wake up, Jasper. I should wake up too. I admit, I've been a little infatuated with him lately, but this slight flutter of the heart isn't enough to make me fall for him without hesitation, knowing full well that he will leave. Just like my dad said, it's fine to have some fun. I won't waste my feelings on a relationship that has no future. I'll just treat this month as a pastime. He continued with the plot and eventually made it back smoothly, and my life should also return to its original track, with no changes. Walking out of the school gate, I saw Simon. He walked over with a smile and said, Lydia, let's have a meal together. I frowned. How did he find my school? I'm not in the mood to deal with him right now and was thinking of making up an excuse to refuse. Lydia, don't go with him. Jasper had somehow chased after me. He took my hand and held it tightly, his flustered expression filled with sincerity. Lydia, I can now tell you clearly that I like you. I really, really like you, so much that I would give up everything for you. I was stunned and couldn't react for a moment. The system couldn't take it anymore and yelled, Host, what are you saying? You can't give up everything for her. We still have to follow the rest of the plot. I'm not leaving. I don't want anything else. I just want her. I just want Lydia, the system said. Don't tell me you've grown attached to her. She's just an NPC. Jasper instantly flared up. She's not an NPC. She's my wife. Take your damn plot and get lost. Their arguing was giving me a headache. I tried to pull my hand back, but it wouldn't budge. Jasper, we've already broken up. Stop clinging on. Seeing this, Simon chimed in from the side. It's really tacky to keep clinging after a breakup. Let go already. Jasper turned sharply toward Simon, his eyes dark with fury. You have no right to interfere in our matters. Get lost too. He is my fiancé, and we will be husband and wife in the near future. How is that not enough qualification? I took a step forward and retorted coldly. His eyes instantly filled with disbelief, and his voice trembled. You're going to marry him, yes, so stop bothering me. After saying that, I ignored Jasper's shattered expression and turned to look at Simon. Aren't we going to eat? Let's go. I got into Simon's car, and as the engine started, I caught a glimpse of Jasper still standing there, as if nailed to the spot, at the upscale restaurant. I had no appetite and just picked at my food. Simon didn't eat either, just kept swirling the red wine glass, occasionally taking a small sip. He suddenly spoke, his tone deliberately nostalgic. You young people, loving so passionately. It almost makes me reminisce about my youth. I'm utterly speechless. He's only 6 years older than me, yet he talks like someone in their 40s or 50s who's been through it all. So pretentious. He's a match for my dad. No wonder my dad is satisfied with him. His next words made me frown. The alliance between our two families has no drawbacks. As you know, wealthy families place great importance on carrying on the family line. My parents have been eager to have a grandchild. Since we are going to get married sooner or later, you should be able to accept premarital sex, right? If you get pregnant, we can hold the wedding without waiting for you to graduate. It disgusted me so much that I almost flipped the table. I coldly spat out a single word, get lost. This marriage alliance absolutely cannot happen. They're already in such a hurry to talk about having children before we're even married. What will it be like after we tie the knot? Tomorrow I'll go see my father. I'll make such a scene that he cancels this marriage alliance. The next day, I was woken up by a phone call. It was my dad calling, and his voice, unusually heavy, came through the phone. Lydia, from today on, don't contact Simon anymore. The arranged marriage is cancelled. Stay away from people like him. Though confused, I was afraid he might change his mind, so I immediately agreed. Okay, I understand. He gave me a few more reminders about my life at school before hanging up. Half an hour later, I saw the trending topic and finally understood the reason for my dad's change in attitude. Just last night, Simon was secretly caught on camera meeting with a famous actress in a hotel, and it made headlines. Soon after, evidence of his chaotic private life was exposed, with various photos being posted. It was completely different from his usual, gentlemanly image. For a moment, public opinion was in an uproar, and even his company was implicated. My intuition was right. His gentlemanly demeanor was all an act. This scandal broke out just in time, otherwise, I would have really gone to argue with my dad today. I recalled the hint of guilt in my dad's tone during that phone call just now. I guess he won't be arranging any more arranged marriages for me for a long time. Feeling instantly relieved, I immediately ordered myself a big meal to celebrate properly. As I got up and walked to the living room, I heard noises coming from outside the door. I thought the food delivery had arrived, but then I realized it had been less than 5 minutes. How could it possibly be that fast? I looked through the peephole and unexpectedly saw Jasper standing outside, holding a bag of breakfast in his hand. His other hand was suspended in midair. Hesitating for a long time before he finally decided not to knock on the door, after a while, he crouched down on the doormat, his shoulders slightly slumping. The system muttered, "You came all the way here, yet you don't dare to knock. Are you just standing here as a punishment?" I unconsciously pressed my ear tightly against the door. I heard Jasper's dejected voice. "She doesn't want to see me. If I knock, she'll just blame me for being persistent," the system complained. "Then why are you rushing over here? Last night, you even went to help her catch her fiancé cheating, spent the whole night digging up dirt, and exposed his scandal on the hot search list. That's not her fiancé, he's just a scumbag. If he dares to deceive Lydia, he'll get a taste of my methods." I was shocked that he was the one who did this. For a moment, my heart was filled with mixed emotions. The system's words continued. "That still doesn't change the fact that she wants to break up with you. Since she's being this ruthless, you should stop dwelling on her. Let's go follow the plot. I'm not in the mood to scold you right now." The system refused to give up. "Think about your billions in assets. Think about your family. Think about everything you had in your original world. There's nothing to think about. Then why were you so eager to go back at first?" Jasper was silent for a long time. So long that I thought he wouldn't answer, until I finally heard his slow voice. "Because I am not Jasper. No one here knows me. I don't belong here, and I don't want to keep living under someone else's identity." "Then what are you doing now?" "Now, I want to live Jasper's life as my own." He paused, his tone growing firmer. "I built assets worth over $1 billion from scratch. Starting over is nothing. What could I possibly fail at? His voice became unprecedentedly calm. As for family, do you think I'd have any attachment to a bunch of parasites who only swarm out at the end of the year for dividends, and spend the rest of their time looking for my weaknesses, scheming to bring me down and take my place? Come to think of it, attending classes every day, running errands for Lydia, being scolded and teased by her, accompanying her on walks, joining in her lively banter, seeing her proud little expressions, her evasive eyes when she feels guilty, and the sad tears she sheds while watching movies. All of these make my world so much more vibrant than the monotonous and dull one I had before. It was the first time I heard him open up about his feelings, his calm voice carrying a hint of gentleness. The system sighed. If you keep this up, I'll have to reload the save file. No matter how many times you reload, the outcome will be the same, the system said. I'm really out of ideas. After a long while, forget it, I won't force you. This system is just that considerate. However, this also means my task has failed. You must accept punishment, whatever. Just don't kill me, you won't die. Host, please prepare to receive the electric shock punishment. The next second, Jasper fell to the ground with a thud, unconscious. I'm completely stunned. Things had actually come to this. The system's gloating voice chimed in. Oops, sorry, didn't control the strength properly. But don't worry, host, it's not life-threatening. Just think of it as taking a nap. Farewell, bye. The system's voice completely vanished. Hey, you shocked him and then just ran away. I looked at Jasper lying unconscious on the ground and let out a deep sigh. Jasper, I hope you won't regret this. I was just about to open the door. At that moment, my food delivery arrived. The delivery guy saw the scene at the door, scratched his helmet, then crouched down and patted Jasper. Wake up, buddy, you can't sleep here. I laughed and quickly opened the door. Haha, my boyfriend sleeps so soundly. He falls asleep as soon as his head hits the pillow, the delivery guy said. Haha, your boyfriend? I thought he was a colleague, seeing him carrying a bag. After saying that, he even helped me lift Jasper up, holding back my laughter. I thanked him and then pulled Jasper to the sofa in the living room. At that moment, Jasper woke up, his expression dazed, clearly not yet fully aware. When he saw my face, his eyes lit up instantly. He pulled me into his arms, burying his head in the crook of my neck. Lydia, I want to be with you forever. After making up, Jasper became even more clingy than before. If he didn't see me for 5 minutes, he would call. We stayed together like this for a year. Jasper also graduated and became extremely busy. He threw himself into starting a business. So busy that we barely saw each other more than a few times a week. My father has recently started getting restless again, thinking about arranging a marriage alliance for me. One day, I asked Jasper, do you want to come back with me to meet my dad? He gently held me in his arms and said, your dad doesn't like poor guys. Lydia, can you wait a little longer for me? Wait until I can give you enough confidence. Later, there was no one in City E who hadn't heard of Jasper's name, this young man, who seemingly came out of nowhere, single-handedly founded a giant enterprise, and his business empire swept through City E, almost monopolizing the local business world. Just as he said back then, there is nothing he cannot accomplish. That day, he appeared before my father wearing a well-tailored dark gray suit and earnestly expressed his desire to marry me. My father's face lit up with joy. He repeated 3 times, truly, do not despise the youth for his poverty. The wedding was grand and spectacular. And amidst the cheers and blessings, I smiled and leaned close to his ear. It's been a long time since I last heard you talking to the system. As soon as the words left my mouth, he instantly bristled. Damn it, I laughed even more gleefully. Not only can I hear it, but I can hear it crystal clear. After a long while, he accepted the truth. This low-level system doesn't even know it has a bug. Then, he lowered his head and gently kissed me. But thanks to it, I was able to meet you, Lydia. I love you. Meanwhile, in some distant, unknown corner, the system suddenly sneezed. It must be that CEO thinking about me again. Honestly, if I really left, he'd be unhappy. After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.